Well, good morning. Let's talk about this latest snowfall potential for tonight and early Wednesday. First of all, still a lot of uncertainties exist. Why? Well, a couple of factors. Very low dew points below zero in a lot of locations, very dry air. And secondly, the exact track of the low pressure area. Now, as we look at the map this morning, we're seeing a low-pressure area developing over the deep south. If you've heard it in the news, the ice and the snow that's going to be spreading through central and southern Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, and yes, the panhandle of Florida may actually see some freezing rain, and New Orleans, by the way, already getting freezing rain and sleet. This is part of the same system that could affect us tonight and early Wednesday. The Weather Service has issued a winter weather advisory for our region for tonight and to basically from 7 p.m. tonight until 1 o'clock on Wednesday. The reason why the big range in hours is because of the uncertainty that still exists. So this watch, or advisory I should say, could be whittled down a little bit or even canceled depending on what the latest models look like. So at the moment, their prediction and my prediction would be also, however, I'm rather nervously thinking this, 2 to 4 inches of snow across Cape Cod and the Vineyard, but possibly as much as 4 to 6 on Nantucket, which would be quite a snowfall for you. However, again, I caution you about the dry air. QBF, which is the precipitation amount that the models give, each model gives for an area. Sure enough, the North American model or non-model, and the GFS model, which is basically the American model, started teaming up a little bit last night and continued early this morning, thinking, okay, well, we're going to see a tenth to a quarter of an inch of precipitation across southeast Mass and of course our region. And sure enough, it says that. The problem being with dew points this low, below zero dew points, makes it very difficult for precipitation to moisten the atmosphere and fall to the ground as snow. So in other words, it could be snowing. The models could be right in that respect, but it may not reach to the ground level because it dries up, virga as we call it. That's going to be one tricky part of this forecast that we still have to negotiate through to see what happens. Now we'll be looking this afternoon and tonight to see if dew points start to rise just a little bit. They don't need to rise a whole lot. There might be enough vertical movement to cause the snow to come down, but for now it seems too dry to me. Secondly, of course, we'll be looking at the latest model runs. We'll be getting all three of the major model runs this morning and early afternoon. First being the North American model, and then the GFS model, and the European model. By the way, the European model has been pretty consistent well offshore with this storm, and precipitation shields being that way too. However, a caveat of that is the European model has been handling winter storms very, very badly this winter. So maybe this will be a win for them, but you've got to be kind of skeptical, especially with the way that it's been handling situations up to this point. So, it's a very difficult forecast, as you can see, and I'm going to continue, like I said, to look at the latest models this morning and early afternoon. I may cut up another video a little bit later with the latest information I have for you. Right now, we'll go along with the QPF, although I'm very leery of it because I've seen quite a bit before where the precipitation amounts on models don't actually turn into anything on, dry ground, basically. But for now, we will go for clouds to increase this afternoon. And I think that's a certainty. We're going to see a high shield of clouds come up from that storm in the south. So sunshine will fade this afternoon. Certainly a very cold day, kind of gusty at times, gusts reaching 25, perhaps even 30 miles per hour for a time, especially this morning. Highs really not very high, 18 to about 24 the most. Again, very dry dew point. So you're going to see a lot of electro shocks in your house if you go across your carpet too fast, that's for sure. It's very, very dry. As for winds, we're going to see winds out of the west and northwest again, gusting occasionally up to 25, perhaps 30 miles per hour this morning. For tonight, clouds are expected to thicken more. We'll see a period of snow or light snow or snow showers late tonight. That's what we're thinking right now. However, again, no guarantees, and this could be downgraded. We may not even see anything. We'll see. And we'll see accumulation overnight, probably 1 to 3 inches across the region, perhaps as much as 2 to 4 inches on Nantucket. Again, you're closest to the low, so if this does eventually happen, Nantucket will see quite a little snowstorm here, looks like. While Cape Cod sees a light snowfall, but still, could be tricky travel if this all comes out to happen, so just be aware of that. Wednesday, the snow will taper off to flurries pretty much late morning to early afternoon at the latest. Sunshine will come out in the afternoon. Temperatures in the mid and upper 20s, still very cold. Maybe a few degrees milder than today, but still very cold. And again, total snowfall accumulations, at least right now, if everything comes out like we think it might, at least the models are thinking, as long as the dry air doesn't eat all of this, 2 to 4 inches for Cape Cod and the Vineyard, and 4 to 6 inches potentially for Nantucket, average of 5 inches there, which is, again, a pretty decent snow event for Nantucket for sure. For Wednesday night, clear and very cold temperatures, lows down into the teens to around 20. We start a moderation coming up on Thursday. Still cold, but not nearly as cold. Sunshine with highs 28 to 33. Thursday night, partly cloudy, not nearly as cold, lows in the mid and upper 20s. And Friday, sunshine, believe it or not, we could see highs 35 to 40. A little system still very uncertain this weekend. It looks like there may be a low pressure area going to our north, which means it could be in the rain shield, not really snow shield in this case, and another cold front may come through. Although temperatures will be back in the low to mid 30s for highs early next week, we're not looking at the same frigid air that we're seeing now. But there are indications we may see another significant storm next week of some type. But it's way too early to go on to that right now. So, again, to summarize, a lot of uncertainty with this forecast, a lot of dry air, could easily eat up any of this precipitation when it falls to the ground. We have to wait and see on that. Exact track still obviously needs to be looked at through the models, which we'll be doing. We look using other tools to say, exactly relative humidity forecasts and things of that nature, dew points, to see if we can actually get the snowfall in here. But please stay tuned. I'll have more updates on Facebook. I may cut a video later early this afternoon. We'll have to wait and see. So until then, have a good day. And thanks for reading my weather page and weather updates on Facebook. I'm Tom Woodman. Have a good day.